So I'm going to talk about the design of the site, right? So the way I see this happening is that people go on. It's like a Facebook, but it also has the ability to have exchange, like Craigslist or Elance. And I'm really just hoping to find some people that can help to do this thing, with a lot of money, because I'm financing all of this myself. So it would be really good to get a really cost-effective package going, So I believe somewhere in the universe, the Buddhas will send somebody, God will send somebody to just do this, So basically, this website, people get on there, have their own profile and all this, right? And then what they'll do is, they'll list their interests, just like who you are, right? And then, they'll have a wish list of things they'd like to have fulfilled, their dreams in their lives, And it could be material things or spiritual things. And then people can form community on the same way that they have on Facebook, And then other people they can see, and then they can start like fulfilling each other's wishes. And then at the same time you have rating, where like individuals, like they can rate for each other. This person has had a lot of like love credits, just because they've contributed so much to the world, right? Like either through making prayer organizations or through building communities or through something, like they've just contributed a lot, right? And as a result, the site should encourage others to really the site would showcase those top love creditors, right? So then those are the people that really deserve to have a lot of their things fulfilled, right? And honestly, I feel like a lot of those people, like for the most part, people who are so wish fulfilling jewels for others, they want very few things for themselves. Because it's just the nature of those that are wish fulfilling for others, that they don't think very much of their own needs. They just don't have that many. Because,
Yeah, they don't think, but they do sometimes overextend themselves.
Right.
And they sometimes need just someone while they're helping to fulfill others, they need someone to look out for their needs.
Right. So what they can do is like just make a list, I need, please somebody help me do laundry on this day. Please somebody help me, make this appointment. Please somebody help me do an ebook. Please somebody help me do this and that. Because the other day I was on Facebook, right? And I saw this man that started a website called, a Facebook page called Spirit Science. It's got probably like over 800,000 people subscribed and then like millions of likes and stuff. And I thought, oh, what a wonderful contributor to the world. I love reading his articles and stuff. And then on his personal page, he's talking about how he's a self-employed person and, needing to pay his bills and stuff. It's hard, And then he says he's looking to publish an ebook. So, and he's very Christic. And he basically said, I'm going to offer this on a free donation basis. People like that, they subscribe to these models because they understand the nature of reality is complete share. And anything that is demanding something is actually blocking energy flow. But then they still live in the material, so they have to have some sustenance, right? So then they say, okay, donation based. But I think people like that, if they had if they had a wish list, I would be fulfilling his wish right there and then. If there was like a little bucket for donation to him, I would be donating like a couple bucks, because every time I read an article, I feel like I really learned something from this man, and I want to express my gratitude, and I want to show my co-creative contribution to the outcome he's creating, right? So I think everybody on their page should have a little donation button, and then the more somebody contributes to society, the more donation they will have. And then they can also show how they're spending their love money, like some people, they can spend it on goods and services, obviously they can cash out and then they do whatever, so there would be like an exchange, like like a currency exchange that's directly on each person's profile, like how much they've earned in love credits and how much they've exchanged into cash, which you can't trace their economic activity. But if somebody winds up circulating a lot of love currency and contributes a lot to the site, then I think the site gives them more back, because the site is needing to fulfill its responsibility of sponsoring those that contribute to the positive energy. Because that's the whole point of the site, is to transform the culture of our society into a more compensating, really goodwill. So the thing is, the site has a responsibility to really compensate those that contribute really well, and the site should show on a daily basis how much it's given back to members. And these things should be really made transparent. And the more transparent we make it, the more we realize we can individually see benefits and losses and waste in our economy. Because right now, a lot of things are hidden under the table. You know, like the companies hide them under the table, private individuals hide them under the table. An average person doesn't really have transparency into the trace of dollars, you know? But I think anything that is done on a love currency basis should have a very clear trace of how that love currency is being...
A paper trail with it.
Yeah, like a paper trail. Then you don't even need things like auditing because it's right there and then, right? And then this man gave me, like, he was doing it for his side and, you know, whatever. Like, I didn't have to sign a non-disclosure. I talked to him for a little while. I think he did have a good idea. We're not speaking anymore. But he did say, actually, what we can start realizing is that a lot of the social changes we need to effect actually need to come from a garnered economic power, you know, because right now they're separate. Like, you know, we want to make some social changes and stop guns being made or something, you know, and then, you know, somebody has to go and make a social change about that. But, you know, like what gets people's attention nowadays is monetary power, right? Like if you can buttress a lot of your social activism with consumption modulation. Like, for example, a whole group of people wanted to press for a certain social change in gun power and then gun production. Then they can essentially group up their purchases, right? And then, well, I mean, it's better done when, like, the people, like the suppliers that they're trying to actually affect are directly linked to the things that they're buying, right? Like, so for example, a group of people say want to, you know, basically demand, you know, Apple is now like hiring people in China, right? So they can make it into their group agenda for that day that they will curtail their spending by such and such amount if Apple continue to do that, right? So if Apple could see that as a real dollar loss, they would listen a lot more than, you know, I mean, than just like somebody writing a paper about it, right? So this man's idea, I like that a lot, and I don't really feel like you're stealing anyone's idea because honestly, I think the whole thing is no idea belongs to anybody. It's just like circulated in the universe,
and
you know?
And it's just up to us to cherry pick.
Yeah, it's up to us to cherry pick, and it's up to us to bring it into fruition so people can benefit. That's another thing is I don't believe in trademarks. I don't believe in like...
Well, trademarks are there to protect ideas that other people had so that less scrupulous people will not steal them and patent them as their own and thereby say, you must pay me